Welcome, guys. Welcome. Always think up. Always think up. Always think up. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for all your messages. Thank you for all your emails. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for all your friction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right? So, you guys are getting to know me, or you think you are, or we're trying to, or, whatever we got going on, right? So, I wore my shirt today. It says, "Let's get wild." I was, happy Memorial Day. Yesterday was a rough one for me. This past couple weeks been a little bit rough. Woo-sa, right? Woo-sa. So, you guys saw the other day that I did this rebirthing. And I've been getting so many questions on, what is this? How do you do it? How much does it cost? All these things. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you guys. I was quiet about it. I kind of didn't answer about it. I love you all. This had to be on my time. This was on my time. My rebirthing taught me about my time. Thank you, Angela. I love you. Mwah, past the moon, girl. This experience has knocked my socks off. Guys, I've always been a divine timing type of girl. Everything comes into my life in divine time. But in the same time that I am a divine timing type of girl, I rush. I run full speed into brick walls. I just pop right in and I'm like, that's not for me. And I go the other way, right? And so meeting Angela has been one of the greatest things in my life. When I first started watching her, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Angela Mia White, she is amazing, right? So I have been studying on my own. I've been doing all this stuff. And then in me, things come to me, divine timing, right when I need them, right when I want them, right when I'm craving them. And she came into my life, and it was on live videos. I didn't know her. I loved her. I loved her family dynamic. I loved, how her husband came in and gave love, and, she wasn't shushing her family, and everybody was just eating and living, and that was love to me. I come in and I do my videos and I close everybody off, and I'm like, shh, be quiet. I'm doing this. I'm working, right? So, there was a lot of things about her that I just really loved. And so I just kept watching and I kept thinking, man, I really love this girl. And I didn't even know it wasn't anything like I was trying to learn. I was just feeling that love, right? And so one day I'm on there and I'm watching her, and she starts talking about rebirthing. And you guys know, I talk about sexual energy. I talk about sex. Everything keeps coming up to say, "Hey, Sarah, let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex." And, there's part of me that's like, what the heck? Are you crazy? And it just keeps coming up. It just keeps coming up. So I'm like, okay, she's talking about this. I'm going to message her and say, hey, I think I need it. Well, I don't ask too many questions, guys. I just kind of go in there and I'm like, hey, I think I need this. And she messages me back and she's like, yeah, how's next week? And I'll message her back and I'm like, yeah, that's good. And next week comes and she's like, hey, how about 12 o'clock? I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Divine timing, right? So I have a lot of people just messaging me, how much does it cost? Where's she at? Where? Blah, blah, blah. Divine timing. Trust in the divine timing in your life. Trust the things that are happening in your life. You're having things that are happening in your life and you don't trust your divine timing. So when these Angela Mia Whites are coming up to you, you're not trusting it. When I'm in that space, I don't look out for people to tell me that, hey, yeah, Angela's good. You can trust her. I just went. I didn't ask anybody. I knew that she was for me and I was for her, and I just did it, right? Yes, I love you. I love you. There are people that are needing help. There are people. I don't really get it all the way, Flora. I love you so much. This video is to let you guys know what I went through. And so, it's a lot. It's really great. I can't wait to pump this video. So, Angela comes into my life and she's like, how's 12 o'clock? And my baby was sleeping. It was like perfect timing, divine timing. So, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was. She didn't tell me, none of that stuff, right? So we get on the live video, and I was just so excited to be connected to her live. Now that I'm doing these lives like this, I'm having meetings on live. When I'm on live with you guys, I feel like, yes, that's the connection. Hey, how are you, right? So we get on live and she starts to, tell me that she puts crystals, you know, on this thing, and I was just imagining, and she said, I want you guys to imagine these things, right? So she just said that there's a heart, and then there's a wave up going through it. And if you guys know me, that's the love wave. I'm on it. I'm in it. 528. I'm in it. I don't understand it all the time. I don't know it all the time. I love it there. I love it there. I love it there. And that's in these crystals that she's reading. And then there's a big smile at the bottom, and you know, and then she starts to break it down to me in there. And she mentioned something about my father, and some things that I needed to fix in that area, guys. And, you know, she asked me, did I have a relationship with my dad? And I told her no. You know, I'm very honest. And she said, well, why not? And she's very honest too. So, you know, she's not hurtful or anything like that. She's really just to the point, in the moment, in the spirit, right? And I said, I don't feel like it's my job to fix my things with my dad. And she said, well, that is your job, kid. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be fixing that. And so if you know me, that kind of like, woo, kicked me. But I've been working on that. And so I was like, you know what? She's right. I do need to work on this. You know, your parents are important. Your dad is important. It's very important. Then she hit me with a 1-2 stunner, guys. She hit me with a 1-2 stunner. She told me that I have to learn how to forgive my child's father. I don't know how yet. I told her, I don't know how. I don't know how. It hurt me to even hear her say that I do have to do this. Ugh. It's hard. But you know what? I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to her. I know that her guidance was coming from source, from the universe, from God. I mean, this is where I'm at right now. I mean, this is what's bumping in me. This is what's hurting my feelings, guys. This is what's getting me off track. You guys have seen, you know, I'm love. And then in my love, then what happens whenever I get off track? Then I'm on here like, bleh, I hate this, right? Well, nobody wants to hear that. So, you know, when you guys are going through a bad day, and I don't want to hear it, when I'm going through a bad day, you don't want to hear it. And I love you guys. That's some crap I'm going through. And you know, for me to be living in abundance totally and manifesting things of my dreams and always think up as my life. And I love all my friends and everything. And then to have this friction in your life just is like, oh, it just gets on your nerves. Like, I don't want it there. And so, you know, I've been praying into it, and I've been writing about it, and I've been trying, but really I wasn't being creative. I wasn't being my creative. I was just like, oh yeah, I want my daughter to have her father, so I'm going to push, do anything that I can do to have that. Well, that wasn't working for me. That doesn't work. I need to figure out a new way. So you guys know, I'm working on that. And that, you know, and sometimes with these rebirths, this is not something that's like, boom, you rebirth and like all of a sudden you and your baby dad are getting along. This doesn't work like that. I love you all, but you know, when you're working on these things in your life, sometimes like I believe in manifestation, and I wish that I could just like boom, manifest this perfect relationship going on. But the reason why I can't is because in me something's wrong. So, you know, I have a bunch of spiritual friends, and I have a cushion. I tell you guys about my cushion, and I talked to my cushion about this, and I said, hey man, what do you think? And they're like, girl, you have some serious abandonment issues that you need to get straight with to go forward. And you know, it's like another punch in the stomach, but it's like, thank you for the love. That's the love wave. So in the love wave, it can feel like your friends and stuff are punching in the stomach, but it's because you have to learn, because you have to grow, because you know, we're building these bridges to life. And so it's like we're living in these bodies, but we're dead in these bodies. We're going through the motions. We're you know, things are happening to us, and we're like, oh, that's me, or I'm fighting out of it, and everyone's like, what's the point? Well, guys, this rebirth, this energy and the vibration, this love wave, this 528 that I'm on, this is what it's all about to me. It's been wild. It's been the wildest thing ever. Hello, everyone. If I'm not messaging you, that's because there's a lot that I have to say. If I'm not responding, hello, welcome everyone. There's so much to say today about this rebirth. So I'm going to come back to this message, and I'm going to give you guys so much love, but I'm just going to keep going, okay? Because there's a lot I want to share with you. And if you don't have that much time, Angela Mita White, look her up, look at what she does, look at, you know, see if that is something maybe if that is where you are in your life, don't ask me any questions about it. Believe in divine timing and let the divine timing work in your life. Let that work. I don't want to answer questions about it. Do you? I'm doing me. I'm healing up. It's like I just had a baby and I'm healing up. So if you guys know about that, then know about that. If you don't, I'm about to show you about it. Okay, so at the beginning of my rebirth, she pulled a bunch of cards, and at first I was thinking like 24, but I think it was like 50. Okay, hi everyone. So it was really neat. I had my cards read before, and I've done a bunch of things, but I've never had somebody ever in my life be so right on. When you get your cards read, sometimes you feel like people are like wasting your time. She pulled like 50 cards and like literally like sped through them. Like she knew, like when we talked about it, she knew the ones I understood. She knew the ones I didn't understand and broke them down. She took pictures of them and sent them to me. And so, I just wrote down a few to share with you to let you know that like it was right in my life. This thing that she does, this rebirthing, this is not for her. This is for us. This is to help us. So if you're a light worker, and you've been going through some things and you feel like you are like right there, but you need more, go talk to her, man. She's the realist. She's so real. So, the first card I got was a card of balance. I'm a Libra. That's right. Second card I got was magic with MAGICK and rituals. That was something that really hit me because it's something that, as I write, my hands are writing these things out, but my heart and my head is like, oh my God, is this with God? Is this right? And then it came up in some other places in my life, and then it came up in my rebirthing. So thank you, Angela. I might cry a little bit for this, guys, because it's huge. To rebirth yourself is like, holy huge, right? Soul retrieval, enter the chamber of healing, the key of life, initiation, pyramids and light, the temple of black obsidian, the temple of lapis lazuli. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's the blue stone. I know I need it in my life. She's the goddess of the ancient skies. And so you guys know me. I'm like, always think up, always think up, always think up, right? Angels, high priestess. That's like somewhere that I've been in my life. You guys think that I just like do Facebook and run around and have fun. That's what I try to do. But I've been like doing classes every day and really, trying to learn more about healing, because that is what I'm here for. I'm here to do healing work. And so, I do get messages channeled to me, but I do have to learn them. I have to learn this language. I have to learn all these things that I'm doing. And it's not always like just so easy. So I have been taking classes every morning at 9:00, and they're Monday through Sunday. They're not like, you get the weekends off type stuff. And they're deep. They're things you have to go and you have to look inside yourself, and you have to look things up, and you have to know what you want to ask questions about and things like that. And so thank you, Angela, for letting me know that I am on the right path with this. She talked about my father, Egypt, which is something that I've always been really, stuck to. I never knew why. Forgiveness, biblical things, wisdom, unrequited love, finances, spirituality and religion, trust and faith, healing, perceptions, revelations, the resurrection. And revelations and the resurrection, it was a lot to me. She doesn't even know me. And like, these cards that she pulled, they touched down to my life, So I went to the, can't think of it right now, something house. One of my girlfriends took me when I was young, 13 years old. And it was about the end of the world. It was about tribulations. It was about all those things. And that stuck with me for like a really long time. And then as I see things in the world happening like that play did for me, I know that this is like a big time for the world. I was always afraid that it was the end of the world. And, you have a baby and you're at the end of the world and you're like, what did I do this for? It's not that, guys. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. I love you guys. It's the end of the masculine vibration. It's the end of, I got to be so tough to get this stuff done. It's where all that stuff just lifted, all the weight just fell right off, and you're supposed to feel lighter, and you're supposed to feel better, and you're supposed to feel love, and you're supposed to feel good inside of you. And sometimes when you're going through this shift, you can be like, am I crazy because I want to feel those things? And Angela will let me know that, no, girl, you're right on. You're right on. What I've been doing hasn't always been accepted by everyone in my life. I've been on this path for 11 years, and as much as I feel so much love and light and good, at the same exact time, sometimes I feel so beat down and so unsure and just crazy, nuts, right? She pulled a card about the Matrix, the lovers, the dance, unveiling, the Jade, enter the Jade Temple. She talked about the fairies, the Elf Queen, transformation, the Tao, blessings of the Moon Maiden. Guys, there's so many things. Whenever I talk about this love, there's so many things that fill me up with love. And, it's really crazy because these cards that she pulled from my rebirth, all of those cards, that's what love is to me. So I heard a song today when I was driving, and, I get a lot of questions about being single, and you're so pretty, Sarah, and why are you single, and all of these. And thank you for the love, and thank you for the curiosity. Curiosity, keeps this cat rolling. In the song that I listened to today, I don't even remember who wrote it. I took a picture of it because I loved it so much. And, when people ask me, how do you be single? How do you go through life, Sarah, and don't be in love? I am in love, guys. I'm in love every day. There's so much that I love that I don't even know how to tell you guys. I can run through it so much. I run through it. I do. I write it in my journal. I'm always pouring my love out somehow. And all of these cards that she pulled, that's what they were. They were pouring. They were the ways I pour my love out. They were the places that I go in my mind to feel love. Maybe if the world's beating me up, or not a lot of people really get me. I'm an introvert. I'm like an introvert extrovert. So I come out here and I'm like, hey, but then really I'm an introvert because I can't really talk about this stuff. I write it down like the best of them, but I can't really talk about it. And then lately my writing, I haven't been able to write, right? I've been trying all these different things. Some of my friends have been talking about writer's block and how do they get out, and I've been trying, and I haven't even had enough guts to say, right? So 4 years, I've been just writer's blocked up. And I think it was waiting for this. I think it was blocking up in my life because I have to let it out. So, my rebirth. Normally what she'll do is she'll get in a trance-like state. She sends you music, you listen to it. She listens to it, she connects with the universe. She normally types it all out, edits it, and then sends it to you. So, of course, with me, her and we had to do something new because that's me, right? I'm like, let's not do this the same way you always do it. Can we do it like me and your way, something special? And so we did. And so what she had to do was, I don't know, she was going through some stuff on her end, and, we're vibing up, and when the vibrations are so high on live and stuff like that, you just, you turn electronics off and things keep turning off, and it was a really fun process. It was about 3 hours long, guys. This isn't like just boom, life isn't just boom, fixed it. There are some things, some cuts inside of us that we have to get deep. We have to get deep inside of ourselves and really see that it's a cut. Sometimes it heals up and it heals over and it's not bleeding anymore and you're not paying attention to it, but it's still in there and it needs fixed. It needs out. You need to heal from these things that have happened to you in your life and past lives and all of these things to move forward and live on, right? And so that's kind of, what I see with this rebirth. Trust, patience, and don't rush, that came up immediately and all through the whole thing. And so, trust that, to me, what this was trust what you feel, trust what you know, have patience that maybe it might not always, sometimes things come so fast. So I get a little frustrated. Have patience that sometimes really good things do take time, and that, maybe sometimes if it doesn't all work out in divine timing, that you have to change some things to get it to go the right way. Don't rush it. Enjoy every now moment. So, she talked about it. I'm going to read it. I wrote it down a little bit because she did a voice recording, and like I said, guys, I might cry, and I'm going to explain to you guys when I do cry, why I cry. So, I say that this rebirth is really hard to put into words, and it really is. It's like, it's really wild. It's like you have a baby. I got to have a baby. I got the blessing of having a baby. So thankful. Couldn't be more thankful to be a mother. So, when I was 17, the doctors told me I couldn't have kids. And so I just said, okay, and I made that my life. Then I got pregnant. I wasn't ready. That wasn't what I was thinking. I was going through all kind of things. And so, I went through all this stuff. But now in doing this rebirth, now I get it. I get my pregnancy. I get everything a little bit better, a lot better. So, she goes into this thing and she says that I'm laying there, I'm sleeping. A prince comes over, kisses me on my forehead, and holds his hand out, and I just go with him. To me, that's huge. I don't really trust men. So, I don't follow them. I don't let them kiss me, and I don't do any of that, right? And I did. I followed him, I held his hand, and I just walked right with him. Like, I just trusted him like no one's business. And I was like, whoa, this must be something really great, because that's not her, guys. So, then I come up to this place, and there's a shaman there, and he brushes my hair back out of my face, and he puts a headdress on me. And on the headdress, to me, was amazing. There were pyramids all around it, and he kissed every single pyramid all around my head. And that's another thing that's amazing. No matter how great and amazing the man has been in my life, this man was a shaman, I don't let them kiss me or touch me or come near me or do any of that. I mean, I obviously had sex from a really blocked off space if I'm this way, right? So, that made me cry. That was why, because I don't let love in. I don't let men love me. He said, okay, are you ready? I jumped up and was like, yeah, come on, let's get this shit cracking, man. That's what I can imagine myself doing. So as she's doing this at her house, I'm meditating at my house. And, it's crazy because everyone asks me about meditation and stuff like that. And it's just like, you feel these things. You don't know if they're your imagination, your mind, your whatever. Okay. So this is where I'm at. Was my meditation exactly like this at home? No. It was different. It was peaceful. I got myself to a place of peace where I could just let my mind be free. That's what I was trying to do. So then she says that I felt jittery. She felt that I felt jittery and anxious and anxiety, and I was shaking everywhere. And I cried because sometimes when I'm taking on all the things from the world, that's how I feel. When the news is bad and you guys are bad, I get nervous, I have to help you all at the same time, and my body it will shake sometimes. And so I try to be away from people when I'm taking in all that energy, and I have to ground and center, and I have to give that to the earth. And it's been happening a lot lately because the vibrations are lifting and everybody's going through a lot of things, and I feel it. And so all of a sudden, from that anxious space, she says that out of my eyes and my mouth and my nose, this black stuff just starts coming out. And it was like what I was birthing, but it was everywhere. It was coming out of my mouth. It was everywhere. And there was shamans there, and they were tending to it. And so it was alive, and they were pushing out to the side, and they were blessing it and all of these things. And I felt better. I said, wow, I feel better. And I just got up and started walking. And guys, we all have things that we did in our lives that we're just not proud of. You have things in your life that you did. I do too. That's why I do always think up, because, I have things I'm not proud of. I don't want to claim. There's all kind of things. I mean, one of the reasons why it's hard for me to forgive my child's father is because the way that he's treated me, I can't even believe I let him touch my body. I'm not just whoever, Sarah, sleep with whoever. I love the people that I let get close to me and touch me. I trust them. I see them as these great people. And for him to hurt me this way, made me humiliated to even say who he is, right? So for me to feel better in that space, to me, like, she said I had to forgive him. I had to let that shit go. Then she said I'm walking and I have these bloody footprints, right? And then all of a sudden they chop my body up into pieces. Not gory, not blood everywhere. It was like just showing that there are fragments that make us all like who we are. So I'm not just Sarah who you guys think I am. And so that helped me to understand like why I get frustrated sometimes with Always Think Up. Like, you guys think that Always Think Up is like I got my shit together perfectly and I'm perfect. That's not what it is. All I know how to do is give out love perfectly, right? So I just come on and I just give out love, and I see where like the collective is, and I just give out love for wherever that is because I get it. I feel it. So I'm walking and I got these bloody footprints and I'm all chopped up, and then they put me back together. I think maybe just to show me that I am more than just what I think I am. So then I am walking and I go to this graveyard on the left-hand side, and it's really crazy because I go to a graveyard that's on the left-hand side. She does not know this. It's one of my favorite places on the earth. And so I go in there and I'm putting my bloody footprints on headstones. There's all kind of headstones, and I'm putting my bloody footprints on the left-hand side. And the footprint that's coming up is not my adult footprint. It's a child footprint, bloody. At first I'm like, what the hell is this, right? What am I doing? And as I'm hearing her say this, I thought, that's my past lives, right? And so here she says that Michael comes in with his sword, and he scrapes the blood. Each bloody footprint that I put on there, he scrapes the blood off with the sword. And when he scrapes the blood off, a diamond appears. So in the left-hand side of all of these grave things, now there are diamonds where my bloody footprint was. And this is ironic because I do a lot of work with Archangel Michael. I thought I just like kind of made it up in my mind, but having him in here let me know that I have been doing a lot of work with him. So we get these diamonds, and he tells me to go and press on each one. And I did, and as I pressed on the diamond, the headstone went into the ground, just disappeared. And I asked him, are these my past lives? And he said, yeah, and I knew that I could handle it. So I just sunk them all into the ground, and things got really real. I started freaking out. She said that there were shamans all around me. They had a special oil that they had mixed up. They were putting a cross on my forehead and putting a cross on my neck, bringing me balance. They had holy water. They put crosses on my hands. They put my palms together. So then there were flowers all over me, purple flowers, the smell of lavender. There were lavender trees. I was walking up to them, hugging them. They were hugging me back. If you guys know me, I am like kind of a little tree hugger, and I do love lavender so much. And then Michael, then I was walking over to this sign that said private. I'm always getting everyone's privacy. And so I walk over to this sign, and it said private, and there was a door, and I opened it, and in there were Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. Now, Archangel Metatron is new for me, guys, if you're watching. He's someone that I just kind of started learning that I'm working with and didn't really ever know before. So to have him in there let me know I'm right, what I'm thinking. And when I walked in there, they were there, and they were naked. They were flashing me. And right away I said, I don't like this. And, I shut the door, and they said that they had to do this because this was something for me to remember from my past, so I can learn. And I was like, oh, okay, like whatever. And it was a different scene. Guys, that's big. That's huge, right? So, obviously I don't know what for sure, but something happened to me in a past life. I never really been in love. So this hurt that I feel towards men, I don't know where it comes from. And I try to find a physical blame for it. I try to, find it, and I can't because I don't know where it's from. So, to see these two archangels naked, now it makes me laugh because it's like, okay, obviously I was really going through some real shit, but they were there, and they're there to teach you, and they're there to teach you in the way that you can get it. Only you can get their teachings, because only you can understand what that means with no words. So then all of a sudden we were in somewhere else, but I was with them, and now I have a crown, I have a scepter, and I have a purple robe, like a queen, right? Really weird, right? So, I feel this all the time, and your spiritual ego comes in all the time and is like, you are not that great. You are not that good. No, you really are. The greatness and the goodness that you feel inside of you, you really are. And just keep walking, just keep going, because you will get there, I swear. So then she takes me to, then I'm at this fairy forest, right? And I have to tell you guys how ironic this is, because my whole entire life I've played with fairies, and I thought they were fake. And when I was little, they were little. And then as I grew, they grew. And then as I became badass, they were badass. I was learning with them how to be badass. And so when she comes up with this, I'm like, there's no way in hell that, like, nobody knows this about me. Now you guys do. Now everybody does. This stuff is real, guys. There's so much real stuff out here that's beyond what we see every day and what we go through every day. And, to me, that was like my magical place to run my whole life. And isn't that crazy that that's really a place I can run? Immediately when I got there, I took all my clothes off and just ran in, right? And so, all the shame and all the things that we feel out here in the world, that's why I cry. That's why I shake sometimes. I don't want you to feel shameful of yourself. I don't want you to feel fears of yourself. I would go off and run with these fairies and we'd be whatever. And, then I would come back and I would have to put my clothes on and be so, shameful of anything I've done before and all of those things. And so, I said that I knew this was here and I could feel this my whole life, right? And I really could. So then I just took a big sigh, and it said, you are going to feel everything. There was a sign, and it said, you are going to feel everything. Now, if you know me and you've been doing any work with me, sometimes I'm like, shit, man, I wish I couldn't feel this shit. Sometimes it's hard. But I really love what I'm learning, and I really love connecting with all of you. And, even trying to put words on a rebirth thing, I'm doing this for you guys, because I can just feel it and go through it and not say a word. So, this fairy, the fairies are passion and love and compassion. And so this specific fairy came up to me, and she was passion, love, compassion, everything. It wasn't a fairy that I had worked with in the past. That's what Angela said. And she walked me back, and all of a sudden there were like eyes everywhere. And so, imagine like a black forest type deal, and you see these little eyes, and they're just kind of peeking out from everywhere. I love the woods, and I've been in the woods my whole life. And, I thought that me being in the woods my whole life, that's where I came up with this weird thing that I play with fairies in the woods and whatever. But it's real, right? So, they said this is how you feel. You really feel like everyone's just watching you. And then I'm listening to it, and I'm like, all right, well, you're doing live videos and you're pumping your stuff and you're, doing all this. Of course you feel like people are looking at you. But they hit me with the opposite, right? It's quite the opposite. I'm watching everyone else, and my introvert, I'm just watching everyone. My whole life has been like this data research project where I don't say much, and I just, I look at everything and I click that with that and that and that and that and that, and I don't say much, and I just watch. And so they let me go erase all the eyes. And so I just got this stuff, and I got up and I went over and I just erased all the eyes. And once I erased them all, I was like, oh my God, that feels so much better, right? It sucks to feel like everyone's just watching you, and that you have to be perfect all the time, and that, it doesn't matter who it is. If it's your parents, if it's your job, if it's your neighbors, if you feel like people are watching you and you have to be perfect, that's rough. That's a lot of what I feel like with being a mom. I feel like her dad doesn't help me. He just like watches me and judges how I mother her. And that's frustrating. So, this meant for like the eyes judging me, to me, that him, everybody that's just watching me, judging me, thinking that I should be this way or act this way. And then, so once I erased them, I saw the river. It was the river of lights, and there was a cobblestone path, and, I could just see this place, and it's like so cool that she said this, because like, this is my peace. The river is my peace. And she said that the path goes right into the water. So the cobblestone just goes right into the water, and me too. So I just walked straight on it, and I just kept going, and I just walked straight into the river. And I can't even tell you guys that, when I go through hard times, I just want to go right into the river. I just want to not hurt myself. I just want to feel that power from the river. The river always was like such a safe place to me. The river has a lot to do about the schooling that I've been doing. In my mind, I'm wondering, like, the schooling am I doing? I've always like second guessed myself and been like, make sure you're doing this for God, girl. Make sure you're doing this for God. And so some of the things I've been learning, I've been really questioning, like, I want God to know that I'm doing this for him and everyone to learn. And so this was just like another, pretty much like guarantee that I'm in the right place. So I'm feeling fabulous, so happy, she said, and I could feel it. I'm swimming all around. She said there's rainbows and stars and celebration everywhere. And guys, that's how I feel. Like, you can have rainbows in the dark with the stars, with the celebrating, everything. Like, if you go where you love, like I love the river, you'll feel those things, right? So you might not love the river. I do. I don't know why. I just do. I'm learning why. I'll share that with you later. So then Raphael comes, and Raphael is another archangel that I have done work with, and he was opening my third eye. So, a lot of people message me about the third eye, the way that he was helping me out, and, the things that have happened in my life, I think I shut my third eye down from trauma. And so he was helping me to open it, because I used to be a seer, and then I turned into a feeler after a little trauma with my seeing, how my seeing hurt somebody that I loved. And so, Archangel Raphael to me is purple light. So, I never saw him like as a form. I always saw him as a purple shiny light. And he didn't cut it, but he opened it and he kissed it. And he told me that this may hurt later. And she said she didn't know if that meant that I was going to get migraine headaches or things like that. And since my rebirthing experience, I haven't gotten any migraine headaches, but the one thing that I am getting is like this like pressure kind of like in my head. And I think that, it's kind of like whenever you're working out new muscles and you work them out and then you feel a little bit of pressure, like I think that's what it is. That's kind of what it reminds me of, but it's not too bad. So for all the people that have messaged me about the third eye stuff, I never really knew, because I had blocked that down. In my studies, I know that, your third eye is where you connect to source. And, I have to admit to you that as much as I study and seek all of this, I never really felt very connected right there. How people say that they, ask and they get answers. I have to really like learn this. I get it, manifestation. I'm like a little kid, but it doesn't really like come right to me. I've been blocked off there. That's your connection. So if you hear people talking about the third eye and you don't think that's godly, I mean, that like is God, that like, you're connected right there in your mind. And so, your creation and your imagination, and this connects with this because we mirror each other, and I'm holistic, guys. So this all makes sense to me in a really crazy way. It might not make sense to you. And I'm sure everyone's is really different. Because it's special for you. This is special for you. This is you. This is you birthing your higher self. So he told me that it would hurt. So then I come out of the water and I have my robe and my crown and my scepter all over again. And he said, "Are you ready to walk?" And I said, "I've always been ready." And I just kind of like jumped up and hopped up. And, you know, even though things in life push me down a lot sometimes, I try to keep that. I try to keep that always ready type thing. You know, I try to just wipe my tears off and just keep it moving. I cry sometimes. But I just try to keep it moving. And so then he shows me 3 doors. And there's a 1, a 2, and a 3 above them. And he asked me, you know, what am I going to pick? And I said, well, how about my genie? Didn't you say I have a genie? And he said, yeah, you know, you remember that? With kind of like a laugh. And I said, yeah. And I picked door number 1. And so I go up to door number 1, and like as soon as I start to open it, there's like cobwebs and darkness and just ugh. And I just shut it, and I said, you know, can I just please pick door number 2? And there was so I look on door number 2, and guys, this gets really, really deep. So that was how I felt about myself on door number 1. The cobwebs and the darkness and all of that. Those are the things that I was feeling about myself. That was how I was really feeling. So even though I come out and I give you guys love, you know, that's why I always say, like, even the happiest person sometimes can feel really crappy on the inside, you know. We've been talking about this. Conversation's been coming up a lot in my life. And, you know, it's not like I'm going to hurt myself, but there are a lot of people that are feeling that way that, you know, want to give up. You know, I want to get to the top or to expansion or whatever. I don't want to give up. But that was what I was thinking about myself, is what the sign said. So, you know, that was kind of like a nasty thing for me. So I asked him, can I try number 2? He said, sure. I said it felt better, you know, before I even opened it. And that's what I try to do. I try to feel things before I even know. It was brighter. So I thought, you know, I walked in. Feels better. It was fluid. You know, and that's what I like. I like to feel good. I like to be around people, and there's so much fluid. When it just flows, not when you're just getting jerked all around. I'm an energy feeler. So when energy's jerking all around, I sometimes don't know how to explain it. The person's not being mean. They're being them. They're being love. And maybe I don't like it, and I feel jerked around. And so I guess that's what I got from these whole door things, is like I am a feeler. And I can love that, right? So I walk in, and I said, I think this is it. And when I walked in, Isis was in there, and Kuan Yin was in there. And how amazing is that? Because those are 2 women that, you know, that I'm just really fascinated with. There were flowers everywhere. It was all kind of stuff about Egypt. Hieroglyphics were everywhere. Pyramids were everywhere. Sacred objects everywhere. And there were gold scissors. And so Kuan Yin was there, and she asked, you know, do I know what I'm here for? And I said, birthing. And she said, just not quite yet. And there was a table, and I said, can I lay on there? And she said, yeah. And as soon as I laid on the table, there were all kind of cords coming out of my stomach. So you guys know me, I talk about sexual energy, right? And so you know that I'm going to give it real. You know, sexual energy stays with you for a lifetime. Lifetimes sometimes. And to be broken my sex and not really be like on in that space, I knew it had to come from past lives and things like that. I was meditating, I was working through, and nothing was fixing this, right? And actually, like, coming up into my rebirth, like, before she got a hold of me, like, I literally felt like my stomach was twisted. Like, if I held my shirt up, it looked like awkward and off. And since this day, I've been kind of like unwinding in that space still. So there were cords everywhere coming out of my solar plexus, and I talk about that a lot. That's the orange space. And she said it was like an octopus of cords, and there were energies from over lifetimes that they were coming back so I could heal them in this moment. And so she hands me the scissors, and she says, can you do this? And I said, I think so. And I cut through like 3 or 4 of them and cut them out. And then I got to the 5th one, and it was really strong. And so I went past it, and I cut out the rest of them, and I left that one there. And, you know, I cried a lot when I listened to this. I thought I was going to bawl my eyes out telling you guys, but it was a lot easier without the music and her and being there in my visualizing. But to me, this is just so huge, man. This sexual energy, it needs healed up. It needs healed up. And believe me, guys, I'm going to learn everything I can to help all of you, because, you know, I know there's so many people out here living with this very same thing and just not really sure what it means. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. I know it's like probably really weird shit, but it all made sense to me. And, you know, I'm just trying to put words on it, because there aren't words. Like, when you're in energy, there aren't words. Trying to put words to my energy work, that's what I'm trying to do. There aren't words. It works. It heals. You heal. You know, when you heal your energy, you balance. I try to just make it as simple as I can so you guys can get it. Trust in divine timing. When you're praying for something and somebody shows up, just know that. So then I asked her, you know, this cord's hanging out of me, and I said, is this what door number 3 is for? And she said, yeah. And I just got up and I went over to door number 3, and on door number 3 there was a pyramid over the door. Now, guys, this is huge to me. My schooling, everything I'm at has been pyramids, diamonds. This is what I'm learning, and I'm like, I'm always second guessing myself, and I'm never sure. And so I go in there, and there's shamans everywhere. There's gold everywhere. This is the place I was supposed to be, and the shamans were like, yeah. And so the shamans paint my face black, red, white, and yellow, and they like kind of took their fingerprints and like put them underneath my face. And I looked in the mirror and I saw my heritage. I knew you guys were going to catch a little tear out of this. So I am Native American. I do not know anything about it. There's a piece of me that wants to know, but then there's a piece of me that keeps getting pushed back on it. But in this rebirth, I saw me, where I was from, who I came from. I got it. So then the shaman came and took me over to the bed. You know, they were all up by my head, and they were holding my shoulders. And, you know, it's so crazy, because this seems like a lot of like my real birth that I had, except for like I felt these people were there, but I didn't see them. So to hear them here was like, I knew they were there with me when I had my daughter too. I felt them there. I told them that I was scared. I was really scared. And Kuan Yin was there, and Isis was there, and their hands were on my belly, and they were helping. And I said I didn't know I was pregnant. And, you know, that's exactly what I said whenever I found out I was pregnant with True. Like, holy shit, are you kidding me? I have so many plans. And so I asked, like, is this what the other cord's for? And they were like, yeah, you know, and they told me that it would be a possible dry birth, and that, you know, they may have to help me. And so maybe I would need a C-section. And I remember whenever she said that, you know, guys, when I had to get a C-section and I couldn't have my baby natural, I started off the process feeling less of a woman. And so a lot of the things I went through in the past 3 years, like, they kind of started with all of this stuff that I'm talking to you about. But that's okay, though, because it brought me here, and that's what I love. So they asked me to push. I had no contractions, and I asked why. And they said that you're not ready. And I said, well, I'm confused. Why am I here? And they said, just be patient and trust. That was huge for me. There was a clock on the wall that said trust. There was a sign next to me that said trust. There were flowers everywhere. They were patience flowers. And they were helping me to push the baby out. And I was refusing fluids. And I finally said, just take it. I didn't want the baby to die. And that was like kind of what happened in my, you know, my labor with my daughter. So I was in labor, and I was contracting, but I wasn't doing anything else. And I said, you know, the doctor finally came in, like, it felt like 5 days later. It wasn't, but, and he said, what do you want me to do? And I said, can you please just get this baby out of me? And so very similar. And So they said, are you sure? And I said, yes, absolutely. They said, all right, you're going to feel some pushes and some pulls. Really crazy, because that's what I heard when I had my C-section and I was kind of like out of it. Guys, I don't do drugs. And so they had me on all these drugs and I was like, whoa. But I was really connected like with something else at that time, thank God. And so then Archangel Michael delivered my baby. He cut my C-section with his sword. So how great is that? You know, I had a lot of healing up that I have to do in that space. And just to hear that, you know, that made me feel good. And as soon as he cut me open, there were flowers everywhere. Patience flowers. They came out everywhere. It wasn't normal. It wasn't... there was no blood anywhere. It was just flowers, and they were just floating all around the room and all around everywhere. And it was beautiful. And then they got the baby out. Kuan Yin was helping to pull the baby out. Isis was healing my wounds. And she told me that that this is a big wound for me. And it is. I don't really know much about it yet. I'm learning as we go. I was on to it before I did this, and now I have a better direction. And she said, but it will be healed with patience. And I got that. They said, yes. I said, I know her name. And they said, what? And I said, Patience. And they said, yes. And I was crying and hugging her, and I didn't want to let go. And so I'm holding my baby, and I don't want to let go of her. And they're like prying my hands off her, and I'm crying. I don't want to let her go. And, this was really symbolic to me too. It was like, as soon as I had my baby, her dad was trying to take her from me. And it was crazy, not for love, just to hurt me. And so me holding on, it was like, whoa, like I had to feel like I had to protect my baby like this from the beginning. Except for Patience wasn't, I had a baby, it was my higher self, and so that's me. And you don't understand, we have these babies, and we love them so much. Your baby comes out, and you love your baby so much, and you feel that baby, and you never even knew that this love existed, right? And you're just overwhelmed with all this love of having this baby. And, imagine if we treated ourselves like that. That's huge. That's what I got from this. This baby wasn't my baby. It was me. And so, when I had my baby, guys, I wasn't really taking care of myself. I wasn't really eating. I was forgetting, did I brush my teeth? Did I take care of myself? Was I doing this? Was I doing that? Everything was going into my baby. So imagine if your baby is you. Imagine if you birth yourself. What are you going to do different? What are you going to do better? What are you going to do better to take care of yourself? You have to take care of yourself. So they told me that she doesn't go anywhere, that she will be with me always. Well, of course, I was probably a hormonal mess, but she is you, Sarah. So Kuan Yin and Isis were blessing her. They had holy water. They put a cross on her head and on her throat like they did me, on her hands, and put them together like they did me. And then I got up. And I said, so I could take her? And they said, of course. And I said, oh my God, this is completely amazing. And I was bowing, and I was in awe, and they were bowing at me. And then I looked at the door, and door number 3, the sign said patience, and there was a flower of patience. And I had a patience flower in my hand, and I had my baby, and that was it. I walked out, and, all Angela just said at the end was, wow. And guys, when you're out here in life, I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest critic. I give myself the hardest time. Life is so great. Life is so great. Life is so great. Rebirthing is so great. I don't have everything yet for you. I just wanted to tell you about the process on this video. I got some things I gotta do, forgive my dad, forgive my daughter's father. Does forgiveness mean that you just invite him over for tea? No, it's just for you. It's for you, so you don't hold on whatever that is and reflect that into your life. So, because I can't forgive her father right now. I figure, let me forgive my father, and then maybe that will open it up for me. I don't know how to forgive her father, guys, so I'm going to keep it real. I know I have to, and I don't know how. And so, I can't ignore it, but I don't know how to fix it. So I do know that I can reach out and call my dad, and I did. And so, that's another thing I want to share with you guys. Since I have been going through that, after I had my baby, you have all these like crazy things. So like I cried for like 3 days off and on. My body kind of felt like it was like healing back up, which was really wild. I wasn't expecting that. I got a kidney infection. I went to get my annual. They found a lump in my breast, and that was like kind of like exactly what happened whenever I had my baby. I'm not worried about any of it. I'm surrounded by really great people, and everything has a reason. And please, if you have any questions, just send me love. It's not really a big deal. It's just ironic to me how much that this birthing mimicked my actual birthing. When I had my daughter, and I named my daughter True Amore. So Truamore is her middle name. And as soon as I saw her, she was just true love. And I knew she was going to help me get here. And I knew she was going to give me strength to do all these things. And I didn't really get it all at first. And I don't really get it all now, but I see it coming together. And so I've been healing up. And so I called my dad, and it was late at night because you guys know me, I vibe up, right? And I call him. And one of my big things with my dad was, I've been hurt so much in my life by people who drink and just don't love themselves, and they just drink to be numb, and I get it what hurts them, but I get it, it's going to keep hurting them. And so my dad was one of those ones. He drank to numb himself from whatever he's gone through in his past. I don't really know much. I know that, a lot of Native Americans went through a lot of really hard things, and the traumas, and they covered them up, and I know that we carry these on through our ancestors and things like that, and that's just like a real quick synopsis. But my dad told me they quit drinking. And that was like one of the first things he said to me. And right away, like at first I was like, oh shit, how's this going to go? If he's like drunk as a skunk, I'm not going to be able to do it. And then that's like the first thing he says is that he quit drinking. So, if you're feeling like maybe you need to forgive somebody from your past and you're not sure because of their behavior or whatever, you never really know. Give them a chance and see what's going on, guys. I haven't been the same. Always trust somebody new in your life. I just gave one of my best friends this advice the other day. He was dating a girl, and he believed in her, and she ended up being just what everybody said. And I said, well, please don't ever change that about you. And if you find another girl and she's been through some things, please believe in her too. And, we don't know if someone's going to take our love and change, or take our love and just keep rolling in the doo-doo, but that doesn't mean we stop giving our love to them. It's not our job to judge them or even judge where it ended up. If it didn't end up together, it's just our job to love them. And if they don't end up with you, please still love them too. Trust what you're going through, guys, because, I didn't really know what this rebirthing was, but then she ended up talking to me about the Muniki rites and all of that, the rite of the womb. And there's so much more going on in my life. And, she gave me some great readings and some great things to read and look up and see and learn. And guys, there's so much love out here. So, maybe sometimes I wasn't always feeling it from the love that was right in my face. Sometimes I felt like the love that was right in my face, they didn't always understand me. They didn't know me. And it's so crazy how you can link up with Angela and be like, yo, I feel like you like kind of been like this vibrational mother to me like my whole life, and I never even knew you. And the way she mothers everyone in her tribe and everything, that was one of the most beautiful things that I loved about her. So, you might not get the love where you think it's supposed to come from. It might come from a stranger. Does that mean you let it in? Just let it in. If you don't know me and none of this makes sense, but you feel some kind of crazy love for it and you want to contact Angela, do it. If this is for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. I'm not worried about it anymore. I put in my thing, I had a baby and she is me and we are you. And, that's because that's how connected I feel to everyone. Angela had a day where she said she was just staring at the wall, and I have a lot of days where I'm just like surrounded by people and I'm just like looking past them at nothing, like all over, because I'm just like, I'm baffled sometimes at like what people catch or don't catch, at what people do or don't do. Angela Mia White, Nancy, she is amazing. Amazing. Look at some of her live videos. Look at some of her YouTube videos. I didn't do any of that until after my rebirth. I have to tell you guys, I'm so backwards. But, as soon as I watched all of that, I was like, whoa, yeah, she was definitely for me. She was definitely for me. And like I said, she might not be for all of you. I just wanted to share this experience. I've had a bunch of people ask me, but it had to be on my time. These things that I'm going through, they have to be on my time. And that's a lesson, because I've always put a lot of people before me. And that's not always what you need to do. I mean, and she has like the best way to just like tell you about yourself, but put some love over it after she tells you, like, so it's like massage therapy, like you're like grinding out like the trigger point or whatever, and then you're like, okay, now let me love that up. I remember my teacher saying that to me, and Angela reminded me of that. She's like, like you need to like face your shit, and then she's like, but you're love. So I don't know, guys. I mean, I feel brand new. I feel like everything makes a little bit more sense. I feel like there's still a lot I have to learn. I still go through it. It doesn't make every day be perfect. I mean, yesterday was Memorial Day, and I had no idea that I would be missing my, my little sister that I lost so much. I was missing her so much. And so Angela had a video today and just said, you guys know me, your thoughts create, right? So yesterday I was missing my sister. I lost my sister, and she used to be the one all the time that would go to everyone's house and collect plates. And I reached out to her mom, thank God for her, and she helped me, and we just kind of like laughed it out until we weren't crying anymore. And she would collect all these plates, and she'd come and she'd have like 10 plates that she was getting ready to take home. And then she'd be like, oh, by the way, can you make me some buffalo chicken dip? And she's this big. And, I'm just like, you little shit. But, I never realized that I would be like on Memorial Day, like, Christmas and, these days, Mother's Day, and that's natural. But like, I never thought that yesterday on Memorial Day, I'd be crying my head off because I just miss her. And it was just, life sometimes will throw things in your way to make things a little bit harder, but that's not for you to fall. It's for you to keep walking in that, to learn how to walk past that, to get out of that space. The things that hurt you are there to move you. They're not there to hurt you and just hurt you. They're there so you make changes. Sometimes it's changes you didn't think you had to make or should make or whatever. I love you guys. I really do. I love that I can share this with you guys. I love that you guys have questions. I don't know if I found the right words or not. I tried to find them as good as I can. Guys, I always talk about grounding, centering, and meditating. And then like today I had to go and like kick my own ass. So like sometimes I go and I just run the bleachers, and you have to, my life has been moving and things have been happening in my life that tell me to, you have all this pent up energy there and you have to get it out. And then maybe once I get it out, maybe forgiveness will be easier. It doesn't really make sense the way that we have to do things to heal, but that's okay. So if you're going through something and you're healing and nothing is making sense, you're all right. And one day you'll look back and it's going to be like, ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, I needed all of that to get here. Well, listen, I think you guys are amazing. So if you have a bunch of people telling you you're amazing, just add one more to that. If you don't have anybody telling you that you're amazing, I think you're amazing. If I am answering your messages, that's because we're on divine timing. If I'm not getting to them, that's because my life is crazy busy, or maybe I'm just not digging the vibration. I don't know. I opened my life up to Always Think Up, and I never expected any of this. I got out of the matrix to spend more time with my baby, and she's been waking up saying she wants the damn daycare. But, you know, as much as I feel like, dang, man, is she getting bored with me? I love that she loves her daycare like that she does. So, you know, she tells me stories like, you know, it's like her imagination of like how to get there. Like she's making sure that she gets there. She's like telling me like what they're about to play and paint and sing and stuff. And so like I wasn't trying to take her, but basically she's like, yeah, I'm going. We're about to do all this stuff, Mom. And she's probably telling her daycare lady like, I'm staying all day. I'm staying all day. Well, listen, guys, I got some haircuts and some healing to do today. But I just really wanted to get this out. And after my run, I felt like I could share it. You know, I'm not here to judge anybody about how you're doing things. And believe me, I didn't go like the easiest road. I tell you guys, I run full speed, hit the wall, and then I come back. And that's kind of how life's been for me. So I've been trying to get like a smoother path. I love you guys. I really do. I really do. You know, and I hope that you guys can link up with one another and make yourself a little cushion and really just fall in love with life, because if you don't love life, then it really sucks. And then watching me probably makes you irritated. Well, I love you all with everything in my whole entire heart. And I give you all my love. You know, I just want to send out love to everybody. If you know anybody that needed to hear this, you can share it with them. You know, a lot of people, I get some really wild messages about this rebirth. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? But then in the same sense, I met some really cool people that I never knew before, too, through it, who like kind of knew about it, kind of were curious about it, but wanted to have a conversation about it. That's what I'm in this for, guys. I want good conversations. So if you're coming to me all dull, like, hello, I want to date, I don't do that. I don't want to do any of that. I want to be good people. I want to be surrounded by light and love and all of that. And, you know, if you're needy and you're throwing a pity party for yourself, I send you love and then I keep it moving. I'm not going to stay in that with you. I did that for a long time, guys. And now this rebirth got me knowing that I don't have to stay there, that I can just give you love and keep it moving. You know, I don't, if there's negative going on, yeah, I feel it and I just get out of it and I'm allowed. And, you know, I get a little treat sometimes for doing it, because that wasn't always natural for me. I would just lay in the doo-doo with somebody like, come on, I'll lay here with you in the doo-doo till you're ready to get up. And I don't like the doo-doo. That's why I get out of my own doo-doo. I don't want to lay in yours with you. All right, guys. I hope you have the best day ever. The birds are chirping. My haircut's almost here. She's probably waiting for me. I love you all with everything I got. Turn on the 528. Fall into the frequency of love. Things will start happening in your life that you need. I love you. Mwah. One love.